Let's see how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah. I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra. Walk with me, you know that I got it. Come with me, let's take a trip to the islands. We up on the jet, we'll do more than just fly on it. Stand on that hill, you gon' die on it. Boom, boom. Baby, I'm not one of them, you should try on it. Miss me with all that, I'm on to the next. Whip this up, I send you back to your ex. But good luck with that, this is big as it gets. Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. Give them a name to remember. Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. A moment can live on forever. Yeah. Oh shoot, they don't let me shoot a whole clip. Firepower in this coalition. We just turned the field into a demolition. It was desolate, but I had premonition. I was training for war, every exhibition, every extra mission, every enemy listening. Get off my dick, I got bad intentions. Make it
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another episode, podcast, whatever you want to call it here. Hopefully, everybody's having a fantastic Memorial Day. Of course, I'm joined by my good buddy here, Mythic. Man, how are you doing today on this lovely Monday?
Man, we are doing good. How are you doing, my man?
Good. Can't complain. It's a really beautiful day outside. The heat is starting to come at us, which is going to be very, very unfortunate here pretty soon. But hey, I mean, we know what we signed up for when we're living in the desert here. But let me go ahead and get some quick shout outs here. We got Andy in the chat. We got Michael, Otis, Adrian, Jude, the dude. Appreciate y'all for being here. We're going to have a fun-filled show for you today. We got a lot to talk about here. Yes, it is May. We still got, 2 months for preseason, 3 months for the regular season, and I'm excited. I don't know about you, but I get it. We still have a while away from football, but how are you feeling overall about just, I guess, football vibes and heading into 2024?
See, normally going into the season, it's a lot of delusion that I'm kind of banking on, so I'm trying to sit here and rally myself up, and I end up doing it every single time, and I'm like, oh, we got a chance this season. Oh, we got a chance, blah, blah, blah. That's just delusion. This season, I genuinely think is going to be fantastic. It's going to be a huge growth season. My excitement levels are probably a 15 out of 10. I can't lie. I'm going to flip the question back onto you. What are your excitement levels? How are we feeling?
Yeah, honestly, I remember May of last year. It is obviously every time the football season's coming around, about 2-3 months away, I'm always getting stoked up, and especially because September is my birthday as well, so I kind of have that.
Yes,
and then football season, which I actually kind of care more for football season. I'm not gonna lie to you, than my birthday, but yeah, man, I feel like this year is gonna be just exciting. I feel it in the air, and not just that, man. I'm feeling the Bird Gang come alive. I'm feeling the Arizona Cardinal fan base now coming alive because they're dormant, man. They're dormant for the whole in 2023 season. Not everybody, but it's very obvious that there's now a buzz around the 2024 team, and honestly, I'm super excited about it. This is what we have these terrible seasons for seasons like this one, and I hope the expectations meet to what we all kind of feel like is going to happen. So I'm just super, super excited about it. We're going to let's just jump into it. There's a couple different things that we haven't talked about yet. I already saw in the chat here that people have been asking about Marvin Harrison Jr.'s jerseys and stuff like this. This is the last update that I ended up hearing here from Ian Rappaport. I'm curious to figure out if you've heard anything else about that, but Ian Rappaport came out here. It was May 23rd, so over 4 days ago, and I still have not yet seen jerseys available on Fanatics or even on Just Sports, anything any place like that. But basically, the latest thing that we heard from just this whole jersey debacle is that Marvin Harrison Jr. has signed his rookie deal, which we already knew. His jerseys will now be for sale, sources say. With the signing of the standard player contract, Harrison is a part of the NFLPA group licensing agreement, and his jersey can be sold as outlined in paragraph 4 of the deal. Have you heard anything new about when his jerseys will be for sale?
I haven't heard anything. That's kind of the last thing I heard. I kind of want to know what paragraph 4 is looking like in the contract. I want to know if that has anything to do with Fanatics, because I do know the NFL is partnered with Fanatics, so I wonder if that has any correlation. But I haven't heard anything. So I'm curious what paragraph 4 is looking like in the contract, because apparently it just cleared everything, right? I mean, Marvin Harrison obviously wants to get paid NFL money. He wants the contract money for sure. I don't know about Fanatics, because Michael Rubin is definitely a little stingy. I think we can all agree on that.
Yep.
And sketchy, but I digress. But I don't know, man. I haven't seen anything at all. That's kind of it.
every morning I'm jumping on Fanatics and then I'm seeing if there's any jerseys there, and I'm not seeing a darn thing. Because I want to get one of those jerseys and potentially do a giveaway here on the channel. So like that's why I'm so like, and obviously this is one of the most hyped up first round picks we've had in a very, very long time. I made an actual poll question out there and saying like who's like the most hyped up. We saw Kyler Murray, but like some people even took it back to Larry Fitzgerald. Like that was a while ago. So there's a lot of hype around Marvin Harrison Jr. And I think we're all kind of hoping that he's going to become that guy that we all hope he is going to be. So,
I hope so, man.
All right. Well, let's dive into it. We got a lot to talk about. Let's first start off with, are the Cardinals done adding players to this roster? Now, as of right now, we got OTAs in a full swing right now. We all seen those, those videos of Marvin Harrison Jr. catching the ball, right? Or just kind of a glimpse of Marvin Harrison Jr. in OTAs. What are your thoughts right now? Do you see the Arizona Cardinals making a move on a potential player that wants out of his current team, or a potential player that is currently still on the free agent market? Because believe it or not, there's still some players out there that the Cardinals could potentially go after if they were looking for another veteran cornerback or edge player, anything like that. What are your thoughts on where the Cardinals stand right now?
Man, I think the roster is kind of set. I think if they do get anything, I don't even think they would get it at edge. Like, I think they kind of have their guys, maybe a rotational piece. But, like, outside of that, I think we're kind of set. I mean, we kind of made our moves on the offensive line before the draft started. We kind of got everybody. And then we capitalized on the draft, got a couple guys there. Receivers are interesting. Because, one goes down, you're kind of screwed. But then Zay Jones, we kind of signed him. So that kind of just solidifies that. Running back, we don't need anybody. Quarterback, don't need anybody. Tight end, don't need anybody.
Right.
Like, going down the roster, I think we're pretty set. Safety, we're good. Like, oh, man. In corner, I think we're pretty good with the young guys.
We
have Sean Murphy-Bunting. I think they want everyone to come to their own. We have Elijah Jones, Garrett Williams, and Max Melton. Like, that's three guys right there behind Sean Murphy-Bunting that they probably want to step up. So I think we're good. Like, I really do. Maybe a middle linebacker, but that is, like, probably it.
Yeah. I made a segment here on Bleacher Report because they wanted us to do like crazy wild trade ideas. And of course I added the people on there that, has been trade rumors, potential. Like I even came into that live stream saying, I don't think the Cardinals are going to do a darn thing. Like I'm just doing this here because obviously it's a topic to talk about, but like, the players that most people are talking about when you're thinking about trades is Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, and at one point Patrick Surtain. But like, I don't see the Cardinals doing anything like that. I do tend to agree with what you're saying. I think the Cardinals are set in the positions that they are, because like you said, I think that the biggest ones that come to my mind would be edge. But like hearing how Nick Rallis, as well as I guess more Nick Rallis than Jonathan Gannon, just listening to how they talk about Zaven Collins, although he's not flourished into the guy that we all hoped he has, there's a lot of confidence in Zaven Collins from that defensive side of the ball, and that whole coaching staff. So, and then BJ Ojulari, they're almost expecting him to take this big jump, which I think we're really excited about him taking that next jump as well. But if you're looking at the cornerbacks, although I think it would be exciting to maybe get a Stephon Gilmore, I just don't see the Cardinals doing it. I feel like they got a clear vision of the type of players they want to bring in. And I'm not saying Stephon Gilmore is not the type of players, but like we have a clear vision of who we want, but also how we want it as well. And it's building from the draft is exactly the way that Monty's doing it. And it's exactly the way we're still kind of seeing it these days now. So I tend to agree with you. I think that the days of adding players are over, unless something crazy happens, like a big injury, right? Knock on wood. But I don't see the Cardinals doing it anymore. I think we're done with those positions. So let's kind of segue into the next topic. And I don't want to predict the 53-man roster, but I want to kind of go through who we think the starters are going to be. And we're going to talk about the big positions, where we kind of are asking ourselves, who do you think is going to be this person here, right? So let's jump into it. Let's start off with the offensive side of the ball. I'll pick three positions, and we're going to do the same thing for the defensive side of the ball. Let's go quarterback real quick. I think we can both agree Kyler Murray is the guy, and that's an obvious one.
100%.
Quarterback 2. What are your thoughts right now? Is it going to be Clayton Tune? Is it going to be Desmond Ridder? Or do you think we're not going to know until training camp?
I think it's going to be Desmond Ridder. Pretty confidently. I think it's going to be Desmond Ridder. I think Clayton Tune, I don't think we're going to roster three quarterbacks. I think he'll be our practice squad guy that calls up if anything goes wrong. but I don't think he'll be active roster. I think we'll roster 2, and it'll be Desmond Ridder.
Wow. Okay. So you think that the experiment of Clayton Tune is done?
I don't think it's done. It's just you don't make that trade for no reason.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, they got rid of Rondo Moore, right? Yeah. I mean, I tend to I agree with you. It's sad for me to say. Practice squad probably does seem realistic, if not cutting him. I like the Tune push, man. I like what we can do there, but I think they might be able to do it with Ritter as well. Why do you think they went after a Ritter? Do you think they saw the one game of Cleveland and they're like, we got to make a move for QB2?
Well, I feel like Rondo Moore is that odd guy out, and we've kind of been on that for a while. Like I said it crazily, like towards the back end. I was like, Rondo Moore kind of seems like that guy that's just like a cut candidate. Like, I don't know if it's going to happen or like a trade candidate. Like, I'm cool. Like, I made that CD Lamb video and was like, oh, he could be gone. So I feel like they kind of just like threw him out and what can I get? You know what I mean? Just like what's available. And Desmond Ridder ended up landing in our lap. So, I mean, I'm not mad at it because I feel like he is better than Clayton Tune right now. I don't know about upsides necessarily. I think Desmond Ridder's kind of at his peak. I don't know if Clayton Tune's there. I don't know what his peak is, but you can keep developing him. I mean, practice squad, nothing's going to hurt.
That's fair. Yeah, and seeing the sample size of what we've seen from Tune, unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be a team pick him off our practice squad.
Yeah,
I think he'll be safe there for any of the practice squad guys we have. And you never know, man. The season's a very, very long season, and we'll have to kind of wait and see. So, okay, I agree there. Let's stay with the offensive side of the ball. Let's talk about running backs real quick. Obviously adding Trey Benson, a lot of people are really hyped up, including myself. Let's go RB1, RB2, RB3. Because now we're not just talking about Trey Benson. We're talking about Joe Mercado. We're talking about Michael Carter. And I think we can both agree Carter's one. But what are your thoughts after?
Oh, man. This is so weird. Because James Conner's 1. I think Michael Carter's 2 going into the season. I think Trey Benson's 3. And then I think you're good there. I think you're cut off there. And what's weird is who's the practice guy? Is it DJ Dallas? Is he going to make the active roster just off special teams? Ooh. Is that how they're going to roster it? Are they going to rock 4 running backs? Or are they going to rock Amari DeMarcado? I think it's going to be DJ Dallas if they keep a 4th running back. I really do, which is kind of unfortunate. But it's just how it shapes out. I think it'll be those 3, and then DJ Dallas will be the 4th bubble just for special teams.
Yeah, I think we're agreeing. I mean, we brought in DJ Dallas for the thought of special teams. It is at least the word that we ended up hearing out there, that special teams is going to be where he's going to land. DeMarcado might be the odd man out, unfortunately, because I do think that using a 3rd round pick, you got to bring Trey Benson in. And just kind of looking at the tape and what he's done, he's got a lot of explosive traits. A home run type of running back, if he got a appropriate hole, can definitely go ahead and turn the burners and run it to the end zone. Okay, so I do agree. Michael Carter 2, number 1 James Conner. Now, if James Conner goes down again, like we've been seeing, do you think it's going to be Michael Carter's slot over, or do you think Trey Benson is going to be taking it? Because I let's call it like it is. I love James Conner. He's physical as it gets when it comes down to it, but that might be his downfall because he's been hurt a lot in his career. Do you think it's going to be one of those things where Michael Carter is going to excel at that number 2 position, where he's a great running back because he's not really good in pass protect, or at least what we've seen before. And can he be a guy that's going to be able to tote the rock as much as we think we're going to be toting the rock in the season? So how do you think that's going to shake out?
I mean, that's kind of tough. Oh my. It kind of depends, I guess. Like, it just depends on what the strides Trey Benson's able to take. If he's able to make it enough, I could see him just slotting in and be like, okay, we can run the same system. Right. Like nothing changes. Carries stay the same. Michael Carter might elevate and carries might be on the field a little more than he was with James Conner. But I don't know. It just depends how Trey Benson develops. If he's ready to be slotted in. I could see Trey Benson. I could see that genuinely. That's what I'd prefer. Honestly, if James Conner were to go down, that's what I'd prefer. So hopefully they take that route, but I guess it just kind of depends how he's performing. Because if he's getting you like 3.2 yards a carry, you're not going to start him. It's just that simple. But I don't think that's the case. I think it'll be really, really good for us.
This preseason is going to be interesting. this preseason is actually going to be very interesting to see a lot of these young guys that we have, because like we're not used to it. Like as Cardinal fans, we favored so much veterans throughout the years of the Steve Keim era, and even, you know, before Cliff Kingsbury, right? I guess you can call it Steve Keim era, with the fact of like we drafted a lot of guys, but there was not really an opportunity where in this regime, you really think that they actually have an opportunity to go ahead and start. I think we're going to see a load of Trey Benson, maybe not a load, but enough to kind of make an idea of like, hey, this guy could potentially be a RB1 for the future. What I would love to shake it out is obviously I think it's going to be James Conner 1, Michael Carter 2. If James Conner does go down, we hope he doesn't, but just kind of the trends that we've been seeing, I would love Trey Benson to actually get that workload. Maybe a game or two, maybe 3 games, just depending on how long James Conner needs to come back. And then keeping Michael Carter there as that number 2 guy, swing pass, screen routes, that type of guy, because I think he excels in that type of role. And then when he runs the ball, is pretty darn dynamite as well. I really do like him as a runner as well, but he's not a bruiser like a James Conner is. So that's kind of how I would like to see it. Insurance policy for James Conner when he goes down.
For sure. Okay. I think I agree. I think we're good on that. I think if he does go down, we'd like to see the swap for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go about wide receivers.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know. I get this. This one we might debate on.
Ooh.
Wide receivers. Okay. So obviously 4th overall, Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm asking right now, 1, 2, 3. I don't care about 4. 1, 2, 3. Who do you think is going to be the 1, 2, 3 to start of the season? It might change. Obviously, injuries happen. I don't care about that. I'm talking about the start of the season. What do you think is going to shake out? I'm talking about outside slot. Who are you thinking?
Harrison, Wilson, Dortch.
Yeah.
Harrison 1, Wilson 2, Dortch in the slot.
Yeah.
I feel pretty confident about it.
Yeah. I agree that what do you think is going to be the Zay Jones effect? Do you think we're going to be seeing, because this is the opportunity to finally see a lot of Greg Dortch.
Yes.
Do you think he's going to get robbed with the upper? Not because I want to say robbed, but do you think because Zay Jones, listening to the interview of the Arizona Sports, he actually does play slot as well. He primarily played slot in college. He moved over to the outside role in the NFL. Do you think we see a split between Dortch and Zay Jones, or do you think we see a split between Zay Jones and Michael Wilson, or do you think Zay Jones is just insurance policy?
I think it's just insurance or whoever's gassed in the moment. It's just a guy that can play both. Or a guy you could slide in. Like Greg Dortch gets banged up and slide him into the slot. You're comfortable with that. I mean, Michael Wilson goes down and you need somebody you can slot him in. Or someone just absolutely gassed. I mean, swap him out. Zay Jones is another 6'4" big body receiver. So, I mean, you can't go wrong. I think it's good to have him. I think it was a great signing if he stays healthy, which is a little scary because we have Zay Jones and Michael Wilson, who are durability concerns in my eyes. But if they do stay healthy, it's fantastic. And you can't overlook that. Just the height on this team, chef's kiss. Yeah. But I think he's going to be able to hybrid, and I think that's what they're going to use him as.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. I would love the idea of. I think I agree with you. I think Harrison 1, Michael Wilson 2. I just hope he can stay healthy. Like I want to see a big jump from year 1. Obviously depending if he stays healthy. And then having Greg Dortch in the slot. I think Greg Dortch deserves the opportunity because we've seen him, and even when we were down so bad, I feel like he was the only one that was really actually giving us productiveness. Which is kind of the way he plays. And he's what, 5'7", 5'8"?
I think he's 5'8".
He doesn't play. He plays hard, man. He's a dog, man. I really do like him. I like him a lot. So I do believe he does deserve that slot position. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I love the opportunity of or the thought of having an over 6 foot guy in the slot as well. Just to throw that in there, right? But I tend to agree with you. I think a hybrid guy, maybe a committee guy that kind of comes in here just depending on certain packages, they can kind of come in here and make some plays.
For sure. I think we both agree on that.
Perfect. More to the defensive side of the ball. Cornerback. How do you think that's going to shake out?
I have Sean Murphy-Bunting as outside. I have Max Melton as outside, Garrett Williams in the slot.
Yeah. Man, yeah, we're agreeing a lot on this. I agree.
Yeah. Elijah Jones outside as well.
So Elijah Jones on the outside as well?
Yes.
You think we'll carry 4 cornerbacks?
I think we'll carry 5.
5?
5. Maybe. Yeah, I could see 5.
Primarily cornerbacks, right? You're not including the
Just
safeties in there,
primary
right?
corners. No.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Honestly, I think Garrett Williams hopefully excels in the slot, which we've seen him a lot in there, and I think he's definitely looked very, very good. Max Melton, I'm really excited about seeing him, man. I'm very excited about seeing him. Sean Murphy-Bunting was probably one of the biggest, I guess, signings that we had in the cornerback position. I don't really have a lot of expectations from him, but I just need him to be a veteran. I need him to be an overall veteran that's holding it down for the defense. That's what I'm looking for. Okay.
I agree.
Edge.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty easy for the starters, though. I think it's Zayvon Collins, B.J. Ojulari.
B.J. Ojulari, yeah.
I think you just rock it like that. Now, depth is a little scary. But the thing is, how are they going to play Darius Robinson?
That's a big question.
Right? Because that'll impact a lot. If they want him to run edge, I want B.J. and Darius Robinson. But then do you slide Zayvon Collins back to middle linebacker? I don't know. Maybe he's the odd man out. That's what I'm saying. Like, I guess the strides of Zayvon Collins determine a lot, because if he does become anything decent, then they're going to keep rocking with him. And it seems like they love him, right? Because they're not even opposed to bringing him back after the 5th-year option.
Yeah,
that they declined. They declined it, and they still might not want to bring, or they still might want to bring him back. So I don't know. It's very weird. They just don't want to pay him edge money off a franchise tag, because that's estimated over the 5 highest paid people. Are you paying Zayvon Collins the estimated combined over the 5 highest paid edge rushers in the league? No, that's stupid. You're not giving up like $28 million to Zayvon Collins.
Yeah.
So if we do bring him back, I wouldn't be mad. But I think those are the 2 to start. And then Darius Robinson is such a wild card, because I don't know how he's going to look in camp or what their vision is, because we signed a bunch of nose tackles.
Yep.
So I don't want our first-round pick to get lost in rotation. So hopefully he gets ticked somewhere, because we got Justin Jones and Bilal Nichols. So it's like, where does he fit? Where is he slot in?
Dante Stills as well took some reps here on the inside as well. So that's going to be another – I don't know. It's going to be so interesting. Edge is going to be so interesting. But, like, listening to – just the Cardinals in general, they have so much high praise for Zayvon Collins. And it might be one of those things, too, where, like, you're a coach, you're trying to motivate him, right? You're trying to be on his side and say, hey, we believe in you still. We believe in you. But, like, I'm not going to lie to you. I would love to see Darius Robinson a lot.
I'm with you.
So
you want to see him at edge?
I'm not opposed to it. I'm not about – see the thing with Zayvon Collins, I love – how they talk about him. I love that they support him, but at the end of the day, I care about productivity. I care about how many pressures, how many sacks, how many impactful plays you can have on Sundays, Thursdays, and Mondays. That's what I care about the most. And although I love the idea of them giving the opportunity to Zayvon Collins, at some point, I'm not going to say I wanted the experiment to be done, but I do want an opportunity to be given to a first-round pick for the Cardinals. And if that's going to be Darius Robinson, it's going to be Darius Robinson. Now, I want him to play on the inside, but I happen to agree with what you're saying. Like, we did get 2 guys, which, I mean, we signed them in 3-year deals, right? So it's not like they're forever Cardinals. So I don't know, but I also don't want those free agents to get lost in rotation either.
Yeah.
They came in for run defense. So I don't know. It's just so fascinating to see how different this roster automatically looks. Upgraded. So I don't know. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So
Zayvon Collins did take a step, though.
Yeah.
Like, he definitely took a step and became a better football player. And the thing is, he is smart, but it's like, we have so many people like Dennis Gardick, Victor Dimukeje, like all these people. And Victor Dimukeje might be a cut candidate this year just because of how loaded we are. Yeah. Like Darius Robinson, Dante Stills. I mean, it's good to have depth. Don't get me wrong. I think it's perfect because I don't think any of these guys are like star caliber players. They're like bench players. We just need people to elevate. Like B.J. Ojulari, we need to elevate. Darius Robinson, we need to elevate. We need everyone else to play quality football, better than last year. Can't have run defense like that. So I think it'll be better this year, but Darius Robinson is the X factor for me. I don't know where he's going to play.
I know that's definitely going to be a storyline I'm very, very excited to look for. So on the defensive side of the ball, those are the kind of the main 2 positions, cornerback and edge, that are kind of, I don't know, the exciting to kind of watch who unfolds as starters. So we're going to move off of the 53-man roster, and then we're going to talk about something here that might be a little touchy for some people, but we're going to talk about Kyler Murray. Let's switch over topics to talk about Kyler Murray. Is this make or break year for Kyler Murray, or do you, talking to you, Mythic, and
Yes,
chat,
sir.
how do you feel that the Cardinals feel about Kyler Murray? What are your thoughts? Is this make or break for Kyler?
I don't think so. I think confidence levels are pretty high. I mean, they had no doubt in their mind when he was coming back off an ACL. With the training camp, I think they're going to be even more confident, and they're going to be able to actually – they don't even need to evaluate him. Like, you had to evaluate him because he's coming off a major injury, but then they kind of saw, like, okay, it's the same guy, same quarterback. Like, he's still able to do the same things, and he just came off a major injury. Mentality's stronger. Leadership is way better. The way he's handling himself in interviews is better. The way he's carrying himself is better. The way he's sticking up for teammates is better. Then the play on the field, you still see the flashes. And he definitely started rusty last year. Like, he was underthrowing a couple balls, missing a couple balls. But levels ahead of Josh Dobbs, first game coming back off a torn ACL. And I think with a full training camp, and that's with new forward too, like there's just a lot of things to factor in. That as a coach, I would be so impressed. Like, okay, you're telling me this guy that everyone was trashing, the media and everything was just coming for this guy, and he comes in here after probably I would classify it as the second worst injury that you can sustain in professional sports and just career threatening. It's Achilles and then ACL for me, and he comes back and performs 13 touchdowns, 5 picks. I'll take that. I will take that. In a season that doesn't matter with a roster constructed like this, I think Kyler Murray did great, and I don't think they're worried at all.
So I think both of us have expectations that the Cardinals are going to win
7 to like 10 games.
7 to 10 games. Do you think if the Cardinals somehow only win 4 or 5 games, that's different, right?
It depends how Kyler plays.
Gotcha.
If he just stinks it up, then it's still hard to get off that contract. But like I don't think so. I think Kyler's going to perform well. Like I don't think it'll even be something to worry about.
So you're just thinking like you think this is going to be a good season? That you're just
I think it's going to be a nasty season.
Yeah.
For this team. I think it's going to be great because it's going to be a lot of run, which is going to open Kyler Murray to make wide open passes and make the right plays, which he can do. And then you're telling me Kyler Murray can just get out and just scamper around the field just at will. Like if we can dominate the run, 4.8, 5 yards a carry, and just dominate how we want to, it's free. It's free. We're gonna shock a lot of people. We're gonna smack people. Oh my gosh, sorry. We're gonna smack people in the mouth, man.
Yeah. So so this is, I guess, where we might differ. I think it is make or break for Kyler Murray. But here's the way I look at it. I do think it's going to be a good season. So I don't really worry about it to the point where I'm like, oh man, this is it. Kyler Murray is done with the Arizona Cardinals. Now, if the season goes sideways, and that's either like injury, like another injury happens, or just stinky play, like just not good play. I feel like the Cardinals might consider. I don't think they're going to get rid of him next year, but I do think that there's going to be a contingency plan being put into place a year or two down the road. But like I said before, I think this is going to be a 8-win, 9-win season. So that right there is already kind of telling me like, no, I'm not even worried about this. Although I do believe make or break is a possibility. So I'm kind of having my cake and eating it too at the same time. You know, I'm taking my tank where if it does go sideways, I could see the Arizona Cardinals do something like this. But I still have so much confidence that this Arizona Cardinals roster has been built up so much better compared to 2023. We got playmakers, we got actual football players, and hopefully they can all kind of carry that same, that same heart and same drive that we did last year, that I don't think it really matters. Now, we did talk about before, the season starting off is going to be a gauntlet, right? Just the first 3 games is going to be tough. Bills, Rams, Lions. I expect the Cardinals to go, and I'm not saying Kyler Murray, the Cardinals. I expect the Cardinals to go 2-1 in that stretch.
2-1.
Do you expect any different?
I think 1-2.
1-2?
1-2. I think we beat the Bills, drop 2 straight. I think that's what it'll be. But then I feel like we'll rally back. I think we'll rally back later in the season. I think we'll start like maybe 2-3 and then start rallying on wins. I
mean, that's not bad because week 4, you have the Commanders. So you have an opportunity to go right back to 500 right there.
Exactly. And you'll take that. And that's what I'm saying. It's 4 potentially with JJ McCarthy if he ends up playing. And the thing I'm confident with about Kyler is Lions fans, if you do remember when they traded for him in, was it 21? I think it was 2021. He had like a 19 touchdown, 8 interception season. And then the Lions were coming like, oh, we got so finesse, blah, blah, blah. Like the team was terrible, right? And Jared Goff had like 19 and 8. And the fan base was just completely giving up on him and like, oh, what do we do? How do we get rid of Jared Goff? How do we get rid of this guy? But then Dan Campbell's like, no, Jared Goff is our quarterback. I'm double down. Like, this is our guy. It's kind of like Jonathan Gannon, you know what I mean? Then they elevated in that second season. They had like Jamal Williams at running back, and you kind of saw a culture change with him and Dan Campbell as like the headlines. And then Jared Goff had like a sneaky good year. He almost had like 30 touchdowns and like less than 8 interceptions. Just ridiculous. And then last year, he took him to the NFC Championship. Honestly, should have won. I think they should have been in the Super Bowl. And Jared Goff played fantastic.
I agree.
30+ touchdowns. Like, I think if we can just continue with this, like, that's why I'm not losing doubt. Because I feel like we are following a very, very similar plan to what they're doing. Like, they have their wide receiver 1, Amon St. Brown. And then we have Marvin Harrison Jr., right? I mean, they just drafted fantastic. They got Penei Sewell. We got Paris Johnson Jr. Like, we're following suit. Like, we're following in the direction. So I'm not worried about it. I'm really not.
We just got to start biting some kneecaps. That's it.
Man, I'm telling you.
Man, this is – no, I agree. I know the topic is kind of floating around the fan base of Kyler Murray make or break. But honestly, this is kind of the last thing. And I wanted to kind of talk about it because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not sure if you have the same thing on your channel, but there's always a few people in the comments below and say Kyler Murray's going to have a crappy year. And that's the thing to me. Like, if you're a Cardinals fan, like, why are you wishing downfall for another back-to-back losing season? Like, let's get some hope. Let's give some praise to our team to win. Like, that's what we want. We're coming back we're coming off 2 back-to-back 4-win seasons. Like, we need to be better. We want to be better. We want Kyler Murray to succeed because when he succeeds, we succeed. I just don't get those fans. I think we're living in a world where we're having so many people like that they giving these hot takes and they want to be so right because they want to come back and say, I told you so. Yeah. I don't know. Just let's believe in this team. I have faith that this team can actually be better than most people are giving us credit for. Not Cardinal fans. We're excited. People outside the fan base.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand why you want us to be bad. Like, I see a lot of people in the comments just talking about, I was going to try to put one up because I had one the other day. I couldn't find it. But like, it's like they intentionally want us to be bad. And it's like, why? Like, I don't care how much you hate somebody on your team or dislike somebody. Like, at the end of the day, he's on your team. You know what I mean? Like, why are we rooting against it? Like, I have people coming for Buda Baker, for Kyler Murray. Like, oh, we need to get rid of him. Like, why don't we just wish for a good season? Like, why don't we just 8-9 wins and just improve instead of like, oh, I hope we do bad because of this guy and we have 4 or 5 wins because I don't like this person. Okay, so there's always going to be a player like that you probably dislike on your team. I don't have that person this year, but like, you're always going to have somebody, and you can't please everybody, right? The Super Bowl fixes all. So if you win the big one, everyone shuts up. But until that happens, you're stuck in poverty land. Yeah,
true. Absolutely true. All right. Well, perfect. I think this was a great way to end the podcast here. We talked about are the Cardinals done adding players? We also dived into 53-man roster predictions, not the whole prediction, but, just kind of talking about certain positions. We also talked about, is this going to be Kyler Murray's make or break year? Mythic, you got anything else to add before we close up shop?
I think we're good, man.
All right, perfect. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. As always, if you are watching here on X/Twitter, consider giving us a follow here on the AZ Sports Fan on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, smack the like button and subscribe if you like this type of content. We're going to be closing up shop. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure. Have a great rest of your day. And
right every wrong and I'm back with a vengeance. I show you the ropes. Peace in my town, I can show you the coast. Up in the shots if they wanted to smoke. If you know, then you know. Suited up, my whole team do the same. Don't you forget who created the game. Ready for war, I was born with grenades.